Hi guys, it's Scott Williams from Icebox Studios, and I'd just like to show you the actual scale of the computer rig. So let's see, I'll just get up beside it now. Alright, and as you can see, it tips just below the waist. The actual epic size of the height of the computer, as you can see, it's just below my bum cheeks, and I'll zoom in a minute. I've actually had to raise the desk here to accommodate the actual size of this, and with the floods, the current floods at the moment around Surrey, if the canal over the way floods and comes down here, oh my god, that's an investment blown out of the water, literally, because it's water cooled. Okay. As I said, this is one absolute monster of a case, and I had the door at the side custom made as a speech bubble, and they couldn't go around it because it wasn't quite late. They didn't have the laser fitting for it. So I settled for what there was, and the guy in the computer store, Ali, couldn't actually fit the fans below, so what I did was fit them in myself on close inspection. The actual fans that they are Cooler Master fans, the Cooler Master Exquisites, and what they do is they push the air outside of the system, which, as you can see, is pretty powerful. And because of my epilepsy, I've got fan grills on every single fan in this system. We'll get to that in a minute when I show you the entire thing, but what I'll take you to now okay, we're having a little bit of a closer look, but literally I cannot get any more in the picture because it's such a monster. Initially, I think this was made for bigger motherboards and much bigger imaginative minds, you could say. Because this is not the kind of case that I would have gone for myself. So if you just bear with me 1 second. So what's powering the i7 Intel processor, and that's a 3.2 gigahertz, is an EK water block, and I went specifically for the BitPhoenix red compression fittings. I was the one who chose all of the parts, and I engineered all of the case. I didn't put the case together, everything in the case. I just know how to add parts, and I also know how to put a computer together and back again. So what have we got powering it, as in the reservoir? We've got it up here, so you can see it going away for a little bit, but as you can see, it's not bubbling away, so that means there's no air, which is a good thing, because 2 times before it did actually bubble away, and the first time I had a bit of a frantic fit because it had gone all over the floor and I was very worried. I didn't know what to do. Behind the red tubing, we have at the top a little function, like a functionality, time, water fan, controller, all that kind of thing. And we also have a Blu-ray player that does not play Blu-rays at the moment, although I'm trying to work on that. But when it came out of the store, it just didn't. Okay, in the center, on the left side, what we have are 2 external hard drives, or hot swap bays is a better explanation. So you can just take them in and out even if the computer's on. The memory, or the RAM that I've chosen, I picked myself, and I also bought 2 more sets of 2 myself, which totals 48 gigabytes, which is plenty for whatever I need to do. And we have the graphics card down here, and this is AMD W7000. The W stands for workstation, so that powers plenty. And at the back, we'll have a look later, will be 4 slots, so we can put up to 4 monitors in. Now, I think we can see that. An Asus Essence sound card that also has to be powered. So, yep, behind all these clear cables, we have lots of fun little parts. And we've also got lighting, and we've got we also have a UFO style light that goes beneath the actual reservoir, which is 250 milliliters. Now, what we have down here, because I didn't want to chuck it out, and because it's vintage and almost priceless to me, is a Raptor X 150, so that's 150 gigabytes, and it's a clear case at the top, so you can actually see it run. Unfortunately, it does not run at the moment, so we've just got it down there, stuck to the bottom, and it reflects off the bottom, and does pretty well, reflecting against the mirror and everything else, giving it an extra bit of lighting. Okay, so as we move out a little bit, what we can see is the case, the hard drive caddy cases. That is not actually being used at the moment, but we have the one down here which is, and we have, if we can zoom in here, we have a 250 gigabyte Corsair SSD, which has no moving parts, so there's no danger of that crapping out on us anytime soon. We have with that we have one there, so that's 1 terabyte. We have another terabyte there. We have 3 terabytes, and we have 2 terabytes. So in total, that's 10 terabytes. Let's have a little look down here, and we'll see the Antec Platinum
1000 watts continuous power supply. With the addition of this, what I did was put neoprene on all of this as well, otherwise it would have remained blank and it would have looked extremely ugly. So yes, there's little bits of super glue here, but it does look okay in general. As well as the two fans here, we have one at the back here, and we have, let's see, 3 here glowing red, and if I unscrew the top, so as I unscrewed the top and lifted the lid off, we also have a push-pull system of Corsair, 3 Corsair and 3 Cooler Master. Now these should have grills on them, but they don't seem to, but that doesn't really matter with the top on it. Okay, the final shot of this, and as you can see, I'm quite a distance away from it and I can barely get the whole thing into the camera, but all in all it does the job and I'm happy with it. The mobility is more or less a no-go. That's why this here is called the Icebox Studio, and that powers it. Hey, what I didn't show you was the belly of the beast. Now, for you, well, myself included, I'm a bit of a clean freak to be quite honest. You'll notice, well, obviously the back of the case is off, the front of the case is off as well. I'm cleaning out the fans of the dust, and if we just look in here a little bit, you'll see all the cables are very messy, unfortunately, but it's the best it can get at the moment. I do plan on putting wrapping neoprene around these at some stage, and also here's a nice feature that was part of the custom build. So you see this part here, that's basically the drain. So if it leaks, or if I want to take all the water out of it and replace it, drain it, run water through it, and blah blah blah, basic water cooling jargon, then that's how I do it, and it dips down like that, so it's very nice. It's not very sharp on the sides, it's very blunt, so that's all good. And it's configured in that part of there, which is a 3-point way to the pump. And as I mentioned before, the pump I've had problems with before, but this pump seems to be okay now. You can see where I really need to clean it up, but that's for another time really. I just wanted to really show you the hard drives and the back of the case. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6 down there, if we can get close enough or a good angle. The red one there is the SSD, the Corsair 240GB SSD. So that boots up the system very, very fast because it's got no moving parts. So that's a very cool thing about that. Now we've got the back of the motherboard, and what we've got is 1 and 2 thermal parts. From the front of the case, you've got thermal readings. the top of the thermal ones, the red cable, that's on the MOSFET chip of the motherboard where it gets the hottest, because heat rises. That's what happens basically. It's always going to register as the hottest, so whereas the lowest is at the bottom, or the lowest I can look at on the reservoir, because there's one of these also attached on the reservoir, so I can look at that as well. And we've got the middle of the case, or the middle of the motherboard, and the top right of the case that it's fitted in. That's where the CPU is held, and on both sides that's where 48 gigabytes of RAM is held. So if we just go around the other side now, here we've got the top 3 fans, and above that in the dark, let's see, well, it is pitch black, and it's an XSPN radiator. This truly is a Goliath of a case, and I've just cleaned it out, basically just dusted it over and dusted the fans. So yeah, I could have done a Benny Hill dust over for you and recorded that, but nah, I felt like it wasn't necessary. Would have been funny, but there you go. Anyway, let's have a look at the top. Switch over to here. I've still got to take this part here off with undoing the screws, and then I can dust on the inside. You know, it's a 5,000 quid case, so I'm sparing no expense in the time I'm taking to clean it. And there's also the back side of the case, which is the back of the motherboard basically. This is what that would look like if I didn't have the window put in. Admittedly, it is a royal mess, because I've had to have it super glued in and all sorts, because it just would not stay in. They did a really they did the best job they could, I suppose, but I really should have just left it how it was. Ali probably would have wanted to see the masterpiece inside, because it does run beautifully and it does look really, really cool. But what I really wanted to say about me and the case is this in this studio, it's just me and my work, and if my computer isn't working, then I'm in a bit of a hissy fit. So I'm going to make sure it's all clean, and as you can see, I'm having trouble even putting the case door right in the frame. So yeah, you can basically tell how big it is. Yeah, we've got the weights and stuff over there, just for when I get bored. And we've got a new trackball there, because it's easier to navigate around. And Strike 5 with my 2 monitors and another monitor there. Also, very important, my books, DVDs, and my collector's edition. There you go. From Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Sergeant Kozak, which is very nice. I like that. And I've also got a collector's edition of the Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 as well. Here you'll see 3ds Max 2010 Bible, rendering with Mental Ray and 3ds Max. Is a personal favourite, writing and illustrating, the graphic novel, and we've also got How to Cheat in 3ds Max, shortcuts basically, and I've got lots of little other books. So yeah, with my printer as well, I've got basically I've taken it all apart. So it's quite a job, and I've got my nice little digipad there. It's an A4 digipad, so not many people have them that big, but I don't know, I prefer it like that. I might get a smaller one, and my headphones as well for when I'm listening to music late at night, and I don't want anybody disturbed. And also, we've got here, which I'm trying to get off coffee. Yeah, the Nespresso coffee machine. I think I'll put a blender in here, and then that'll be very cool. And let's not forget why we're doing this in the first place. The game jam and the whole gaming career. That's what my studio here is all about. So yeah, now you've had a look at all the equipment I use, the books, and also down here I don't really stray away from doing manual work, because when you look down here I've got what's called a light box, and those of you in the know will instantly know what that is. You turn lights on and it lights through, so you draw something on a piece of paper, and then you draw it slightly differently, so then slowly you draw more and more different and it becomes animated. So yay, well done to that. Okay, and what I was saying before about my prized possession, look at that. That's beautiful, that, isn't it? That's a hard drive, you know what I mean? That's beautiful. And yep, that's the case that runs it. Those are the EK. Those are the water. That's the water block there. That's the RAM, the sound card, and the graphics card. And there's a lot of different things here. Power supply is always well looked after. Because this is really heavy as a case, I've had to raise the desktop to accommodate this. It's absolutely berserk how big it is, but there's lots to do with it. So you know, it doesn't stop with this here, with the motherboard. I'll get another one when the time comes, but at the moment I want to pay off. You know, I want my money's worth out of this case, and I'm pretty sure I'll get it. So, with that, hiya. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this review. This is on behalf of Compros, www.compros.com, and it's also basically for Muhammad Ali Muhammad and Carmine. I forget his second name, but he put everything together, as well as Ali. I'm not quite sure who did what, but I know Ali's a software person and Carmine does TVs and whatnot, so
praise to those two. Praise really does go to those two. All I've done is cleaning it and using it, because I've kind of taken a step back from making computers, custom builds myself for the time being. Just buying in bits and slotting them in place. Not so hard. Anyway, I'll have a quick clean up and work out, and thank you for watching this review. That was really nice of you.